For many millennials, Matilda remains a warm and whimsical cornerstone of childhood, a film that celebrates intelligence, kindness, and the triumph of good over cruel authority. Yet beneath its bright colors and cheeky telekinesis, Matilda hides a quiet tribute that goes unnoticed by most, a secret cameo from none other than the book's legendary author, Roald Dahl. A story with a heart and a haunting. Directed by Danny DeVito and released in 1996, Matilda follows the journey of a brilliant young girl, played by Mara Wilson, who finds solace in books while enduring the indifference of her brash, self-absorbed parents, played by DeVito and Rhea Perlman. When Matilda begins attending the draconian Cruncham Hall Primary School, ruled by the tyrannical Agatha Trunchbull, she discovers she has a surprising ally in the gentle Miss Honey and an even more surprising gift, telekinesis. With this power and her unshakable sense of justice, Matilda slowly brings light back into Miss Honey's life, who is orphaned and emotionally stunted after the mysterious death of her father, Magnus. As it turns out, Trunchbull, Miss Honey's cruel aunt and guardian, murdered Magnus and seized his home and assets. It's a grim backstory for a children's tale, but one that underlines the courage and power of the quiet and kind. The portrait with a hidden meaning. Toward the film's climax, Matilda plays a ghostly trick on Trunchbull. Using her powers, she manipulates objects in Miss Honey's childhood home to convince the villainous headmistress that Magnus is haunting her. One of the centerpiece objects in this haunting is a previously unseen portrait Matilda uncovers and rehangs on the wall. That portrait? It's not just any fictional image of a character named Magnus. It's actually a real photograph of Roald Dahl himself. This subtle cameo might seem small, but it's deeply meaningful. Dahl passed away in 1990, 6 years before Matilda was released. By using his portrait for Magnus, Miss Honey's beloved father, the filmmakers were planting Dahl into the heart of the story he created. It's as though the spirit of the author himself is watching over the characters, just as Magnus does in the story's climax. An author in the frame. Roald Dahl had little direct involvement in most of the film adaptations of his books. Though he wrote the screenplay for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in 1968 and was famously critical of the 1971 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory film, his physical image never appeared in any of these projects. That makes Matilda's tribute all the more significant. The idea reportedly came from production designer Jennifer Polito, who worked with DeVito to preserve Dahl's spirit throughout the set. It's a sincere artistic decision, not just a clever Easter egg, and one that aligns beautifully with the tone of the film. More hidden homages. The portrait isn't the only wink to Dahl's legacy. There are several nods peppered throughout the film that reward attentive fans of his work. Late in the movie, Matilda tells Miss Honey a curious fact about the speed of a mouse's heartbeat. It may seem random, until you realize it's pulled directly from Dahl's 1983 book The Witches, in which a boy and his grandmother discuss the same phenomenon. It's a deep cut, but it reinforces the interconnectedness of Dahl's fictional worlds. Even the name of Miss Honey's beloved childhood doll, Licky Doll, is a tribute. Licky was the real-life nickname of Felicity Dahl, the author's widow, who served as a producer on the film. Her presence behind the scenes no doubt helped shape the loving tribute that the film ultimately became. A set built on compassion. Matilda's warmth didn't come solely from the story. The compassion behind the camera was just as powerful. Mara Wilson, who starred as Matilda, was experiencing real-life heartbreak during production. Her mother was terminally ill with cancer during filming and tragically passed away before the movie was completed. DeVito and Perlman, who played Matilda's hilariously terrible parents on screen, were nothing short of surrogate family off-screen. They welcomed Wilson into their home and supported her throughout the most difficult time of her young life. In a particularly moving gesture, DeVito showed Wilson the completed film privately, before her mother's death, so her mother could see it in its entirety. That kind of emotional sincerity bleeds into the final product. The now iconic kitchen dance sequence, where Matilda celebrates her powers to the tune of Itty Bitty Pretty One, is pure magic. But what most fans don't know is that Wilson felt shy and unsure about dancing on camera. To boost her confidence, DeVito asked the entire crew to dance along behind the scenes. That joy you see on screen? It was real. A fitting legacy for a legendary author. There's a reason Matilda has endured. Its themes of empowerment, knowledge, and kindness continue to resonate with children and adults alike. For many young viewers, Matilda was the first character who showed that being smart, quiet, or different was not just okay, it was powerful. And now, nearly 3 decades after its release, Matilda is introducing a new generation of children to books and to the stories of Roald Dahl. His portrait may hang silently in the background of one scene, but its inclusion speaks volumes about the respect and reverence the filmmakers had for him. It's the kind of Easter egg that doesn't exist just for trivia buffs. It's a meaningful act of homage, symbolizing the idea that great stories and great storytellers never really disappear. They linger in the hearts of the characters, the children who watch them, and yes, even in the portraits hanging quietly in the background.